Hey, what's good? This is Tom Swoop, and this is First Off in My Opinion. We are broadcasting live in the heart of Atlanta at the Plug ATL. Let's jump right into this topic. Is the high-functioning single mom the destroyer of traditional family values in the United States?
Before I go in, expound on the question.
What I'm saying is you have high-functioning single moms that do not need assistance, that are producing solid children who turn into profitable and quality citizens. Years past, this was a struggling, kids become, problems, but we reaching a point where a lot of single moms are very productive. Does this okay the idea of the traditional family out the window?
Great question.
With that context, destroyer is the wrong word, because if they're producing productive children,
But you're ending something.
Which is the
who's
bad.
ending it?
The high functioning single mom. She's ending.
I ended it as a father when I removed myself from the home.
But sometimes there never was a home. There was just sex.
Yeah, but as a man with children with different women, like, we both engaged in the activity. So even if it was just sex, I knew what I was doing as a man. She knew what she was doing as a woman when she told me, oops, I'm pregnant with your child. When I made the conscious decision to say either I'm going to stick this thing out or not, then to me, I had the keys in that sense. I set the tone on what it was to moving forward. So if she had no choice other than to step up as the single mother who didn't choose that life, then if she's, raising children in a way that, again, they're being productive citizens, at the end of the day, I don't see a negative aspect of that at all, me personally.
I disagree. I do not agree.
Go ahead.
As a woman, we fight for our reproductive rights. It's my body. I can do what I want. Absolutely, you can. However, the moment you allow another man or a man to enter your body and leave you a seed, you are agreeing to co-parent with that man. What I think the question is based upon is because women have told themselves, I'm a single mom. I've got 2 boys. I own a business. I own real estate. I'm cool. That does not eliminate the need for a father in my boy's life. Because I can raise them to be good humans, but I can't raise them to be good men.
100%.
There are certain things I cannot teach them, and society believes that because my children have graduated college and started businesses and they're making good money, that makes them good men. They're missing the emotional intelligence. They're missing the provider mindset, the protector mindset, because that's not something I can teach them.
Right.
I can just teach them how to go get the bag because that's all they seen from me. But they don't know what to expect from a woman. That's why all of this 50-50 mindset is cool. So in my opinion, yes, the high-functioning single mother is part of the problem.
Well, then that means that the question would need more context then, because that sounds like the woman who is moving as if I don't need any help
That's
and
a
I
majority.
don't want any help.
That's a majority of them. And if I know I am a free spirit, I'm having fun, I'm living life, you grown, you can do whatever you want to do. Take a birth control pill every day.
Ash, I don't know if I feel like that's the majority though. I don't
know if
like
the majority
of single mothers think in that way where they feel like I don't need any help, don't want any help. You stay on over there. I don't believe.
Let's do a poll.
It's a few. I don't think a lot of women that end up in those situations don't even make enough money to even feel that way.
100%.
I agree with Ashley. I think it's a lot of women who I wouldn't say don't want a man, just the man that they're thinking they need or want is a fantasy.
Lord.
That's facts.
If a man don't make $250,000 a year, he can't do nothing for me. So what do I need him for? And there are a lot of single moms that believe that because the child's father can't pay her $1,500 a month in child support, we don't need you.
Right.
That man's provision far surpasses financial care. Your sons, even your daughters. I'm a daddy's girl 100%.
Yeah.
And I know that my womanhood is a lot. It plays a lot. My father being there plays a lot of an influence in my womanhood. If it wasn't for me having a daddy there, I wouldn't know what I'm supposed to do as a woman because I wouldn't have the balance. Because I watched my mom have to do both. So for me, I'll play devil's advocate and say that there is not a vast majority of women who enjoy being a single mom by themselves. We do a lot of things out of necessity. I know I have to make a certain level of money because I'm taking care of a household with one income instead of 2, 3, whatever. However, when you put it in your mind, I don't need a man because I got it by myself, what you're doing is you're teaching your sons that it's okay for a woman to carry that much load and that much burden. That's not okay.
Let me ask this, though, to play devil's advocate on that. For that woman, whatever the percentage is, right, does that become a learned behavior based on, and this doesn't excuse it, by the way, like the mindset, but does does it become a learned behavior based on the amount of men who disappoint her or let her down?
She picked the same type of man. She didn't want to do the work on herself. She wanted no accountability to grow and mature. And so as she kept living in the same mindset, she kept attracting the same type of man. She kept having the same experience. So now all men are bad. So now I ain't dealing with none. A lot of women don't want to take accountability. And let me pause. Thank you for taking accountability as a man to say you are the one who is responsible with your seed. But at the same time, as a woman, I know my attitude is stank. And I know I think really, really high of myself because I make 6 figures. And I know I think really high of myself because it's all of these men that want to bed me, but none of them want to marry me. And so I started feeling like I don't need a man because look at all of this that I got going on until you look up and you 45 and the window done passed. And now you sitting here by yourself.
Hey, I got a question though. So like, I think going back, and I like what you just said, but I think going back to the original question, like, is that woman, this high efficiency woman, the destroyer? I feel like she's a byproduct of something. I don't think that's where it starts. Because where did that mind state come from?
I'll
that
agree with
like
that.
as a child, as a young girl, did you have the mind state that I'm gonna grow up and be single, or did you have mind state I want to get married, I want to do these things? So
Full
where did that mind
transparency.
state come from?
Sorry.
But I think it's the fact it exists, so we got to start
Facts.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think I'm just starting at the
Yeah,
high
I ain't mad at the
yeah.
question at all.
But
I'm
I
just trying
agree
to
with
dig little
Terry. It's
deeper
a
in
root problem.
Yeah.
It's a root problem. So for me, the root problem for my family, and I can only
Right.
speak for mine, my mother was an incredible woman, but she was a hyper independent. I got it. I don't need nobody. But she was married. So you are a married single woman because you married the wrong man. So because she wanted to honor her vows and I'm going to hold my man down, I'm going to go work 3 jobs while this man did not. I'm growing up like, that ain't for me. I'd rather do it by myself than to allow a man to live off my back. I'm not comfortable with that because ain't nothing free in life, including Ashley. So at the end of the day, what I had to grow up and realize is, yeah, I can do it all by myself, but as I got older, I'm like, this is really hard. And this sucks. And raising these kids by myself, I love my kids, but this is a lot of work. Paying all these bills, yeah, I can do it, but I'm tired and my back hurt, my legs hurt, and I don't want to do it by myself. And the provision that a good man provides in my life, I want that. The protection, the peace of mind, to know that my man is telling me, babe, take the day. You cool, I got you. Don't worry about it. I can't give that to myself. Only a good mate can give me that. An example for my children. So I had to change my mindset. I had to work on my personality, my attitude, my mouth, so that I could attract the type of man that I know I want.
But you know something, that takes a level of awareness that the typical person just doesn't have, and a level of accountability as well. And this is where we get into one of those situations where I can't even help you because you don't even see a problem.
Agreed.
This is why our voices are so needed, though. I feel like we all, in our own way, represent this concept of accountability and this concept of people looking themselves in the mirror and saying, okay, Ashley been saying this for weeks. VZ been saying this for weeks. Terry been telling me, you know what I mean? Like, there's this concept of, okay, I need to step back. Because when you say not a lot of people are, I'm paraphrasing, but you say basically capable of it, I believe we all have the capacity for it, but we need someone to hold that mirror in our faces and almost force us. So again, y'all, most people know my story, that just for me personally, my aha moment was when I was going through my first divorce and my mother passed away. So I was forced into this space of having to look myself in the mirror and then going through that season of being solo dolo and kind of coming out on the other side a much better man. Had those things not happened, I can't speak to where I would be now at 39 years old.
Agreed.
I can't.
And I follow behind that. Had I not, my first marriage was my forever. I wasn't supposed to be a single mom with 2 kids. I was not supposed to be forced to start over.
Right.
I wasn't supposed to be in a position to where I had to face myself and realize, yeah, it's really you. And it wasn't until I looked at myself coming out of that divorce that I realized I've been really messing up. But because I knew I wanted better, and I am not the one to run away from what I need. I needed to correct me because I did not want to be the 60-year-old cat lady. That ain't what's up. Or terrier, teacup terrier. That's the new trend. It ain't the cats no more. I'm not interested in that. And so for me, to go back to the question, the high-functioning single mom, she is operating out of necessity. Let's say 50% of it is because of the choices she made. You knew that man wasn't good. That's how you ended up a single mom. But there are some women like me who got married. The marriage just didn't work. It is what it is. We're operating out of necessity. But a lot of those women forget this is temporary. You're in this place, you're operating in this space until a good man comes along. They get comfortable in operating like that, and they forget to leave space for a good man to come in and take over. And full transparency, even with my honey that's in my life now, my man, he will do anything for me, but I struggle relinquishing that control because I have been operating in that space for so long. But it takes a good man. It takes a secure and confident man to say, listen, I know it's been a minute, but let me come in and do this for you.
Let me pivot. Let me get this one because this ties right into what you just said.
I knew it.
Oh, hell.
I knew it.
Women often ask for a man to be a provider and a leader first, but due to past traumas, the women insist on leading the dating process.
In what way do they consistently?
They insist on leading the dating process because of what happened in past situations. So, like, I want Terry because Terry's a leader.
Right.
But I need Terry to sort of follow me on this road because I need to be safe about this. I need to do this and that. I need to this. So Terry's no longer leading. I'm leading.
Right.
Well, let's say Ashley's leading the situation, even though she picked Terry because Terry's a leader.
Right.
But she feels like she needs to lead this dating process.
Yeah.
Why pick a leader?
It ain't gonna work. Cause I always get this example to women and men, like only one person can drive a car. I'm driving my car. If you don't trust me to drive this car, you gotta get out. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want no backseat driver either. Now I hear your opinion. I hear you out on like what you think I should turn and what you think I should do. And I consider that, but I'm gonna make the final decision. You know what I'm saying? But if you can't trust me to drive this car, you gotta get out the car.
That's a great analogy that I want to get in. You own a car, right?
Right.
Because that's the car you're driving.
Right.
So that means you have to do financing to own that car.
Right.
And you have to show proof of insurance.
Right.
And you have to pass your driver's license test
Yeah.
to get licensed to drive the car.
Yeah.
We just want you to verify and reassure us that you got all that stuff handled. Okay. And before we verify that, I'm not getting in this car because I don't know who you are. This could be a stolen car. Your insurance could be invalid. You ain't got no driver's license.
But you picked me because you knew that. You in the car if you picked me. You
At
in the
first.
car.
Okay, but before I get in the car, yeah, Terry look good.
Right.
I looked Terry up on Instagram. I like the way he talked. His
right.
TikTok is aligning with the type of life I want.
Right.
But that's what Terry wants me to see on social media. Right. I need to get to know the real Terry. So Terry, as the man who's leading, should be comfortable with me saying, until I really get to know you, let me meet you at Starbucks for our first date. That's not me leading. That's me telling you what I need to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And then because Terry meets me at Starbucks and says, okay, I'm happy to do this for you, but next time, as a man, I want to come and get you. Whoa, Terry, hold on. I still don't know you for to be pulling up at my house.
Now, how long does that go on, though, Ashley?
So I like to think that I have a foolproof dating process, okay? I'll go out of here in these streets. I'm taken now, so I don't do this now.
Speaking theoretically.
I got a man now. But before, I go out here in these streets, I give me a roster up. 3, 4, 5 numbers. I'm chit-chatting with you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Within 1 or 2 conversations, I know if you're meeting my criteria or not. If you're not, it was great meeting you, great conversations, but thank you, but no thank you. Have a good day. The men who make it to the end of the week, they want to take me out. It may be 2. Cool. I let them take me on a very simple date. Ice cream, Starbucks, something simple. If that goes well, then next week, yeah, we can go out to eat. Because I don't want any man investing that type of time or money in me because they're always going to expect something if they're not genuine with their intent. By the time we get ready to go on a real date, I've processed of elimination between you and the other guy. Whoever's meeting the most, checking the most boxes, that's who's taking me out. A week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks from day of meeting.
Okay, so I understand the process of evaluating who you want to spend the most time with. What I'm saying is, how do you evaluate who gets to lead you? How long does that take? How long does that take for Terry to be like, girl, get in the car, we're going somewhere?
A man who's not led by God can't lead me. So I'm watching your actions. I'm paying attention to your character. I'm watching how you treat the people around you. I'm watching what kind of life you've already established for yourself before you ever met Ashley. Because I need to know that that's who you are in your essence. You are a man operating in his purpose. That's what's going to make me trust him. And depending on how much Terry has already established himself is depending on how quick we going to get to that point. If Terry is already acting like a husband, I can treat him like a husband because he's carrying himself as a husband because Ashley is a wife. But as we go through the dating process, there is no set time. Terry controls that because remember, Terry's driving. So it depends on how fast Terry's driving and how much he's willing to show and how much he's willing to reassure. But if Terry hit me with no, I'm just trying to chill with you, Terry going to be in that chill box for months. But if Terry hit the ground running like my man who played no games behind me, it may not take you long.
I operate under the guise of I'm not going to be outled. Like I feel like I'm a natural born leader, and I think we need to reestablish how we define leadership. You know what I mean? Because a lot of you can't go in and out of leadership. You can't
Right.
pick and choose. So I think I've never been in a scenario with a woman where I felt like she was driving the boat ever.
It's kind of
Ever.
hard for me to
Look,
imagine
y'all
what-
know what I do for a living. The seat that I hold, everywhere that I've gone, I've always earned a leadership position. From the military to every job I ever had, you name it. Running my own business, all of that. When you are a leader, you speak with authority. You move with authority. So there's no. And here's the thing: I'm not a sexist, so I don't get around women and feel like because I'm a man, I'm a leader. Like I'm just drag you by the hair and this is how I
Right.
go. No, she can sense my energy out the gate. I've never had this issue. So when I see people going back and forth about it online, it goes above my head because I've always been able to have that level of control, but within a safe space. Not I want to control you.
It goes back to what we said on your show when we talked about you ain't got to tell nobody you're an alpha male.
That's it. When I walk through the room, you can smell the authority. You
Literally.
understand? Like
yes.
my disposition, my demeanor. That's what leadership is. So these women, they're clamoring for leadership. I have zero doubt about it. Even the woman who runs her own thing, type A personality, all of that.
Like
look
she said,
here,
she tired.
when most of these women are exhausted.
But you're describing me. I'm type A. I run a business. I am always the one who is making the moves. At the end of the night, if these women are honest, as good of a face as they put on, looking good in they fancy cars and they big houses, hair done, nails done, they get in their bed and they cry because they tired.
Facts.
They tired of being alone. They tired of handling everything by themselves. But it is the sense of fear of what if I let a man come in and lead me and he leads me down the wrong path.
But this is why
That's just the risk you
This
take.
is why it's so important to cultivate and
Absolutely.
vet. Like your dating process, like it sounds that is the
A lot of women don't have a plan.
None
have
at
a
all.
plan at all.
I'm just
They
gonna
don't.
go with the flow. For
Right.
what, baby?
Well,
no.
this is why we have when I go live and I ask women raise your hand and tell me if you're single and how long have you been single? The average
they-
time is between 4 and 5 years.
Crazy.
Then I'll say how many situationships have you had within that same amount of time? 2, 3, 4, et cetera, right? And it's because they're going along with the flow because they haven't experienced real leadership. They don't know how to recognize
should they
it
really
when
have
it comes
a
about.
plan though? Because I feel like if you have a plan for a guy you never met and he leading the situation, your plan gonna have to. I feel like you should have boundaries.
Plans should be boundaries.
I
The
feel like you
word
should have
plan should be
boundaries,
replaced with
not a plan. You know,
Well,
what I'm saying?
I,
Like what you
I'm
will and won't go for.
going to say a plan because the reason I say a plan is you should know how you want to do some initial things. And I feel like the lack of not planning sometimes puts people in a bad situation.
Agreed. So why would I not have a plan? So I have this conversation with a lot of women. I'm a hairstylist, so all I do is talk to women all day in my main field. All I hear women say is, "Well, what am I supposed to tell them when I first meet them? I'm a wife that is waiting on her husband, because that's gonna set the standard of how you treat
That's
me
a
from
boundary.
the
That gotta be a real statement though.
You have to be a
That
wife.
gotta
to
be
say
a real
Can't be in
statement.
and out.
You can't be.
That's very true.
You can't go into a. I always say this. This is my new term. I am coining it. I've been in touch with the government. I am
Trademark it, all of it.
everything. Because I really feel like a lot of women be saying, "Hey, I want to be a wife. I want to be a girlfriend. I want to do all that." But I really feel like what they really want is intermittent companionship.
Okay, break it down.
They want dates, they want sex, they want somebody when they're lonely.
Okay.
And then they want that person to go home.
So they want the
Majority or
benefits.
minority?
I would say a lot. I'm just going to say, I'm going to use the word a lot.
I ain't mad
Throw a
at it.
percentage out.
I'm going to say probably 70%.
I got
That's
I
a
gotta
lot.
change that. I gotta disagree with that.
I don't think a lot of people put it like this age. Let me back that up to age.
Okay.
A lot of women, let's say over the age of 35,
I'm feeling the
who have not been in a healthy long-term
That's
relationship.
the caveat. That's
Don't know what the finish line or race even really look like.
True.
So basically, all they saying at this point is like, you know what? Tom is nice.
Want some attention?
So where we-
Tom is a good guy. Tom is safe. Tom do that thing I like. Tom can take me places I never been. But
So let me ask you this, bro. What's our role then? Where do we come in this equation? If she's 35 plus, you just said it though. She's never experienced it. That means, so Ashley, you said it's her choices, but also it's the men who have been around in her life, right? Who she's brought into her life. So at 35, she's never really experienced it. Where does our role come in?
bro, sometimes, and this is gonna sound very hard, and harsh. I can take you to a museum and I can show you a work of art and you cannot appreciate it and not understand it. You don't understand the value of it. You don't understand the longevity of it. You don't understand the beauty of it, any of it.
Do you genuinely want to teach her that, or do you, or does it become you one of them who doesn't understand it and I'm gonna dip out? You see what I'm saying?
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm about to get to. At some point, a man is gonna be like, I can't show you how to appreciate art.
But I think it gets to a point to where men hide behind that. I don't even want to do the work. So let me just blame it on the fact that she doesn't appreciate what kind of man
How
I
much
am.
work are we talking about? Because it's like I've literally had women tell me, Tom, teach me how to date you.
Literally, my fiance had to do the same thing. I'm going to show you what it looks like. But it looks differently for everybody. Because if you are a man that needs me to go 50-50 on the bills and we have to do different kind of things because the money ain't the same, I still love you. I still want to do that with you. So that's going to look different than a man that can come in and take over everything and surprise and wine and dine. It looks differently. But for me, I think men have lost the patience with women because some of these women don't know what they want. And they don't even know what to ask for. They don't even know how to accept it when it does come.
But they so successful.
Who?
That they don't even, you see what I'm
Women.
saying? The women are so successful now. I dated a judge. She was so successful that she could not formulate the words to say, Tom, I don't know how to be in a relationship with you.
Because that would make her take accountability for her
Is
own
that
growth.
tied to her
That's
success
too much
or her
work, though.
character?
I think it's Jordan Peterson said, and I hate to quote, but
I rock with him.
like I rock with him too.
I love
So
Jordan.
Jordan Peterson said, like, you know, it was a study done by some school or whatever, and he was talking about like how women are getting so programmed nowadays to complete high school, complete college, get into their degree, get into this point where they get to a point and they get to about 35 to 38 and they understand that something's missing, and so they're like, what's wrong with my life, you know? And it's
I have
they
got
didn't
to speak
settle
on
down, they didn't start a family, and it's like a woman has a natural maternal instinct to reproduce and have children, and you know that's a byproduct of being in a relationship and having a man, and so they get to this point where they're so powerful, but they don't understand the basic concepts of like basically being a woman.
I have
Softness.
I have to speak on this because in 2022, sometimes it takes two incomes. So when a woman has made it up in her mind that I want to be successful, I want to get to a certain place in life, for some men that are not confident in themselves, it's intimidating. So we get to a point to where don't even worry about it, I handle it on my own. But for me, how I feel is women have really been brainwashed and they really have fallen into the trap of, you don't need a man, go make your own money, go to school, buy the house, buy the car, you can do it all by yourself. And it benefits no one but this system of consumerism. And it keeps the family separated. And it also makes women think, I don't have to ever learn how to live with a man. For what? I make enough money to not live with a man. But they are forgetting what else a man provides. Because it ain't nothing like when my anxiety get high and this good 6'3" man hugs me and kisses me on my forehead and I just be like, you right, babe.
So-
you can't get that from your money.